I met a girl who asked me to help make content for OnlyFans. It ended badly. I was scrolling through my Tinder profile for about a minute when I came across a girl who had all the qualities I was looking for in a partner. I won't waste time listing them, just know that she had everything. Not wanting to miss out on a potentially great relationship, or at least a great weekend, I bought and sent her a super like, and then continued flipping through the profiles. A few moments later, I received a notification that I was also liked and, fortunately for me, it was the same girl. We talked a little, shared basic information about myself, and I was convinced that she was completely suitable for me. She was without a doubt my dream girl. What I didn't expect, what she didn't mention anywhere in her biography, was that she was making content for OnlyFans and immediately asked me if I wanted to help her make a video or two. I was somewhat disappointed since we had just met, but I was also thrilled to be involved in creating such content. However, I insisted that my face be hidden, and she said that okay. We chatted a little more, and then she gave me the time and place to come to the shoot. I came to visit my friend, as he lived near the airport. I showed him a picture of that girl and talked to him a little about her. He wished me good luck and I left him in a great mood. She lived alone and invited me into the living room, where we sat on her sofa and talked for a while, because there was some anime on TV that was unfamiliar to me. She was as attractive as her profile picture, and as far as I could tell, she was a big fan of anime, video games and horror movies, but still I felt that something was wrong. Not necessarily with her or the situation, but with the atmosphere of the house. A hint of an elusive, unmistakable strangeness present. She must have noticed my confusion. Or maybe it's just a coincidence, because she quickly changed the topic of conversation, which used to be a movie on content creation. I caught her words and followed her instructions regarding preparation. We went into the bedroom and she went into the adjoining bathroom while I started undressing. The bedroom was decorated even more than the living room. There were dolls, plush toys, posters and figurines everywhere. Candles burned on numerous shelves on the walls. Many, if not all, smelled of some kind of fruity earthy smell. Despite the huge variety of colors, candles and lights, the atmosphere in the room was a little dim, probably it was necessary for its content. As soon as I finished taking off my clothes and sat down to set the table, she called me out of the bathroom and said, "So, you know I'm a big horror fan and would like to hang out with people who are also into creepy things." Thinking that she would come out of the bathroom in some kind of creepy costume or mask, I said yes. For what? A moment passed and she replied, "Okay, well, I hope you're ready." I wasn't ready. She came out of the bathroom in some black clothes, but her skin, which was creamy white, turned green, just like a corpse. She was standing in the doorway, her thighs were scratched, and some kind of sickly green mucus was flowing from her kneecaps. Dark goo was caked in her navel. The condition of her breasts was too terrible to describe. And her face. God, her face. It wasn't just deformed, it was monstrous. And it was the face of a corpse. As if the skin of the face refused to succumb to total decomposition. She opened her mouth and at the same time miasmic steam burst out, filling the room with a terrible smell. I heard the words, "Well, what do you think?" I was so shocked by the sight, the acrid smoke, that I could barely keep from vomiting or fainting. I choked in response to her ridiculous question, and her reaction was as horrifying as her appearance. With amazing speed, considering her disgusting appearance, she jumped at me from the threshold in the bathroom and landed on top of me, pinning me to the bed. Her fetid breath was poisonous, like the fumes from some witch's cauldron, and I tried desperately to push her away, but she was stronger, much stronger, and held my hands. In a voice that couldn't have been younger than 1,000 years, the voice of a worm-scarred mummy, she said, "Relax, I'm not going to hurt you, because you said you like horror too. Defy death." This time I screamed even louder. She got up from me to distance herself from my ridiculous tantrum. She sat down to cover next to me and looking at her lap, I saw a puddle of greenish-yellow mud, and because I could not understand where it came from, my horror only intensified. I started screaming insanely while this ghoul girl was watching this with the grin of a stiff corpse. She put her hand on my shoulder, trying to calm me down, and the cold stickiness of her hand made me jump up and jump away from her. I huddled in a corner, even though she was sitting on the bed, and begged her to let me go. A puzzled expression appeared on her face, and then an expression of sincere resentment. And despite how awful she looked, I suddenly felt a little guilty for what I said. I forced myself to calm down a little, staying at the door, and she said, "I'm not going to eat you. This was not part of the plan. I just thought you were a horror fan like me, so you wouldn't pay attention to my appearance. Especially since we have so much in common. I didn't say I was really like that, but I am. I can disguise it, but in the end you would have found out anyway. So I thought, why not show it to you now? There is a whole market for such content on the internet. But my fans are asking me to make content with another person. And although many have offered to help me, I don't want to be with someone who is with me just because of how I look. but what I am. I realized that I began to sympathize with her, although before I would never have believed in the possibility of her existence. Still, I knew I'd never get used to the sight and smell of rotting flesh. So I apologized for my rudeness, gathered up my clothes and left there. I went home thinking I got out of this situation pretty well. All things considered, I saved her profile in the app just in case I felt guilty enough to come back later. The next morning, just before boarding the flight, I received a message from my friend, photos of him and this girl. They were sitting on the couch together. He also wrote, "Hey man, I found your girlfriend on Tinder, I think she missed you. She said she wanted to show me something. You were so bad. Have a good flight." This was followed by a series of emoticons. He texted me this 3 hours ago. I tried calling him and texting him, but he's not answering. I'm 2,000 miles away from that place. I hope he's okay. The guide to driving alone in the dark is the first. As long as there are other vehicles around, you are safe. If this is the case, then you don't have to continue reading the following paragraphs. Continue driving and, if possible, do not turn onto other roads. You can stay in a small town and rent a room for the night, just to spend the night in safety. But be careful, choose only the place you are familiar with. In the morning, you can go on the road again in complete safety. Second, if you get to a place where there are no passing cars or signs of civilization, be on your guard. Your main goal is to try to detect any signs of life other than vegetation. Do not stop the car, do not delay. Most importantly, no matter what you do, keep your hands off the phone. This is one of the ways they can find you. Third, if you still do not see non-vegetative signs of life, non-road signs after half an hour of driving, do not turn around and do not try to go back. You are lost, and remember, you don't want to be found. Do not touch the phone, no matter how scared you are. Do it right and you won't even need to call. Just keep driving. If you have already turned around, go to the 8th point. Fourth, while you are driving the road, one of two things can happen. She will lead you either across the bridge or lead you to the fork. If you get to the bridge, it means that you are lucky and you will soon be safe. Go to point number 7. If you find yourself at a fork, you should turn left. Go to the 8th point if you have already turned right. If you try to turn back and go back to the fork to go left, you will only make your situation worse. Fifth, you only need to read this if you have safely turned left. While you are driving, a cloud of fog will envelop you. Don't look into the fog and focus on the destination. I assure you, you will not pass through the fog without seeing anything. Whatever it is, don't look at it. The road should be your only concern. Sixth, as soon as the fog clears, you'll find a gas station right along the way of the road. She's not real. Keep driving and drive past her without looking back. Seventh, exactly at midnight you will come across a street lamp. This will be the end of your journey. Now you are safe, you can go to the public roads that are already familiar to you. But, if it's midnight and the light is green or you don't see any other buildings around, follow on and read point 8. Eighth, you are in danger, but you have a chance. Look only at the road. Don't let yourself be distracted by the movement in your peripheral vision or by what you can see in the rear-view mirror. They want you to look at them. Don't do them such a favor. The 9th, on the way you will meet a creature that has taken the form of an elderly man walking along the side of the road. Stop and turn off the engine. Your engine should be turned off when it comes to your car. He will sit in the back seat and put on a seat belt, pretending that he expects you to take him somewhere. Your engine must remain switched off. Do not leave your car, especially to try to open the door for him, and do not look him in the eye. He does not understand and does not appreciate acts of human politeness. The 10th, from now on, you will not be able to leave there. Listen carefully to what this person will tell you. You will be able to understand him if you understand your language in his speech while he speaks a whole lot of different languages. Many people have difficulties with the first acquaintance with this person. Keep in mind that his patience is not eternal, and neither is your time. He will ask you a question about where you are from. You must answer verbally in your native language. If you answer him correctly, he will get the box and the medallion. Take the locket and put it on. You should not open the locket yet. The 11th. This person will leave with the box and disappear on the side of the road. If he left without leaving anything, your time is very limited. If he found you worthy, there will be a small key to the locket in the back seat. Take it and open the locket. You only have a few seconds, so you have to act fast. If there is no key, you are late. I'm really sorry. The 12th. As soon as the key turns inside the locket, close your eyes. Don't try to open them. They will take it as an invitation. The 13th. As soon as your eyes open again, you will find yourself inside your car, which will be standing on the side of the road where you were last time. Start the car and continue the journey. You're safe. Just believe, hope and pray. Dream of never losing your way again. Because if you find yourself in this place again, they will never let you go again.